Hello, my name is Jordan Gibbs, part of the Career and Technical Ed at Gull Lake High School. This is Computer Science and Software Engineering, and over the past few weeks, I've been working on designing a game in FlowLab. And I just kind of wanted to show you the mechanics of it and how it works and stuff like that. Um, but also, I do want to give credit to a guy that helped me learn it, and I'll show that here in a second. Okay, and I'm back, and this guy's YouTube channel helped me so much. He has a 10 video playlist that introduces you to everything that you could really do in FlowLab. I'm sure it's not everything, but there's it gives you like the fundamentals, and then from then on you could add on to your skills and stuff like that. So I think a good way to start off would be explaining what really is FlowLab. Well, it's a video game designer kind of website, and in it you basically use buttons in order to control the behaviors of everything, and you also make things like you can make different designs for these blocks and all these other stuff. It's in short, it's a video game designer. So first off, I want to show you a bit about what I've learned. So in this, you could create things. You create different sprites. You can go to behaviors in it, and in these behaviors, you got these triggers, these different components. But in short, they're basically buttons that allow you to control the game. For example, I'm gonna delete this real quick. This little sprite. Um, this is my video game character right here, right? And I have behaviors. I have bundles that have a bunch of different buttons inside of them that allow me to control how this character works. So if I open this bundle up, we'll see that I have a damage bundle. Basically, it's saying if you collide with any of these things, like the spikes, like those things down there, upside down spike, which are these, and the monsters, um, basically it's saying that it will, it has health, which is shown by the label button, and it's basically saying you will have -1 damage added to this 3 health. So it's subtracting 1 health every time you get hit by one of these things, right? And if it's less than 1, which would be 0, it's going to restart the game. I think a good way to show this off would be to play it. So if you can't really see my character because the buttons are in the way, but I got hit once, I get hit again, and if I get hit one more time, please hit me. Okay, I'll just go down here and get hit by the spikes. Boom, you can see how the code works. It filters out and restarts the game. So I'm going to stop that because it is a little bit in the way. You could design sprites. Like for example, I just made this little character. You can make animations. Like let's say I have my wiggle animation, which does this every time you walk. And I could show that off a little bit. So if I do this, you could see his little feetsies walking there, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm not the best at making animations, but I just thought it'd be pretty cool. And even these monsters right here, they have their own animations, right? But what actually gets them to play that animation? Well, if you look inside of their behaviors, you'll find that in the movement bundle, I have movement, and in the animation, I have the wiggle animation movement. Now, this may look a little bit confusing at first, but I promise it's one of the easiest applications you could use to make video games, and it was fun for me to learn. It didn't take too long. I'd say like a few weeks. You can master it easily. You could probably even master it in a day if you wanted to. Um, Although that's a lot of videos to go through. Um, I didn't even take notes on it, but yeah, I would highly recommend this. So, what's the objective of this game? Well, I have two levers, one here, down here, and oh, don't want to move that. And basically, your goal is to click both of those on in order to open up this door, which will bring you to a next level. That brings us to game levels. This is on game level 1, right? And I have a new level. It doesn't have a name yet, but I'm planning on giving it one, or I might not. It depends. The player won't really see it, so yeah. So if I just play this game, you could see you have I have the arrow keys that control the movement. You could go up, and then you could um, click on or collide with the switch, I should say, and you turn that on, and then you got to get back out somehow. Now, what I would have done is I probably would have went the other way. You want to make sure not to collide with the monsters, because if you collide with the monsters by any other means other than the head, you take damage, and you'll have to restart again from the beginning. So if you go all the way up here now, and then you'll eventually hear a sound. Hold on. Listen. Hold on. There we go. You just heard that sound. That means this door is open. You can go all the way over here. I'll have to fix those guys because I think they spawn too close to each other and they end up colliding a bit. But anyways, let's go through the door and then you get the ending. You rock. And it's pretty interesting to say the least how this works. So if I go into behaviors again, you have a bunch of different things you could do. I have scythes that you could shoot out. Hold on, if I shoot a scythe, and you have a count of 8 in the beginning, and every single time it shoots one out, it goes into this switch, which lets out a -1 that gets added to your count, and eventually it will turn off when that value is not greater than 0. And boom, all those are gone, and you now have a scythe count of 0. Ain't no getting it back. I figured that would be a pretty fair amount of scythes, because you really don't even need scythes to pass the game. I figured it just really looks cool. But the thing about that is, that's also a sprite. Now, what is a sprite? A sprite's really just an image in a game, I would say. And sorry for getting a little bit loud there. There was some ruckus in the class. Well, anyway, I have a bunch of sprites here, and those sprites are saved into a library. I did try to do some other monsters. That didn't work out so well for me, so I had to switch to these flying monsters, which are already built-in sprites from the game. Like, you could go to edit sprite, browse, and you could find different sprites that are already made. That's how I found most of my stuff, if I'm being honest. And yeah, I think if you're a more creative person, you could definitely design some good-looking scythes. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool about it. Um, I think that's just about it for what this game is about. Um, you can make different games in this, I should say. You don't have to do something that I did. Um, there's many variations out there, and I have. Let's take a look at the monster code. It says if you get hit by a scythe, you get destroyed, and you have a dying monster. Now, I think that's pretty cool because that's also a sprite that I made. It admits a dying monster. Hold on. If I add that to the level, I'll add that over there real quick. If you look inside the code of this, you'll find that it will always spin out when it dies. Um, because it's not needed, like, in the game. Like, it's just needed when the monster dies, right? Same thing with the scythe. It's only needed when the player presses the spacebar. You know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty cool. And I have the scythe thing right there. And I even have a bundle. Um, Bundles are, again, basically your block. I would compare them to blocks of code, but using a GUI, or a graphical user interface. This is basically a video game designer using, um, instead of code, it's going to be using GUI, which I think is pretty cool. Anyways, I hope you guys learned something from this video. Um, Although I wasn't trying to teach in this video necessarily. I was just trying to show off what the game was and whatnot. Again, if you're interested in making video games, I would highly, highly, highly recommend checking this out. Um, in the future, I might add more. I might play around with this. I'm not the best video game designer, that's for sure, but I would highly recommend this to maybe play around, see if you want to do something like this in the future. Um, Anyways, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.